All right. Think we are live. Hey, everybody. It's Jason Blaha here, just sitting here drinking my morning coffee, looking sexy as hell as usual. Sorry, got a little something in my throat there. Looking sexy as hell as usual. Got plenty of hot coffee there. Waking up. Streaming on all my platforms. We're on the Facebook page and we're on the tubes. Nice Monday morning. The sun's not up yet. Once the sun is up, we're going to go train. Hopefully, we get a good chat. Like I said, a lot of times these start off really slow. The first 5-10 minutes, we don't get much of anybody. And then sometimes we get 30-40 people in 30 minutes in, and we just run with it for an hour or so. Hour and a half. And we just get some good conversations going. Also, I got 3 coaching slots open. Anybody is interested, let me know. So I'll see the first like has come in here. So we should be getting comments pretty quick. All right, yeah, we're getting likes and views kicking in on the first minute. That's a great sign. It's a good sign that we'll get a good conversations going. Maybe depending upon what people, the person already took their like away. People are hilarious. Yeah, hit that like button, guys, and let's get some comments. Let's get some chats going. Otherwise, I'm going to be talking about. I got coaching slots open. We're going box squat here in a bit. Continue to work my shoulder stuff though on the weekends, and like I said, I feel like it's starting to open up. I don't know how long it's going to be before I can do a full range of motion overhead press, but some of the stuff I'm doing, I'm definitely can tell a difference. My shoulders actually feel different when I'm moving and laying down. So that's what's been fascinating is everything that I'm doing that's helping is all dynamic. There's no static stretching or static mobility of any type, because that stuff has never worked for me, right? We know this already. I did months and months and months and months of everything I've seen physical therapists recommend, and nothing did anything at all. But now that I'm doing dynamic stuff, some of it's fairly aggressive. Now I'm starting to feel stuff popping, open up. So I'll see if that trend continues. And it makes sense. I'm a lifter. Like stretching doesn't do anything for me. Like things have to be loaded with significant force, or they're not going to matter. They're just complete waste of time. The muscles will simply overcome it. But yeah. So really, it's a lot of like weighted arm swings, loo raises with light plates, stuff like that. Seems to be helping. And I don't know if it's going to translate yet into range of motion yet on the barbell. But we'll see. I'm hopeful because getting an overhead press is important. And I thought it was funny. Someone has asked me that in one of the streams. They were like, Jason, is that on the back burner? Is that not a priority? I'm like, that's a major priority. But I've not been able to improve the lockouts yet, So that's the problem. The problem is you guys see me do rep work with 315 on the bench. I can do rep work with 250 on a steep incline. But if I put overhead press, I can't get 135 past my eyebrows. That's a problem. But no, and even the empty bar, I can't lock it. So like my joints won't physically do it. Unless I go all the way back into like a 45-degree incline standing up, in which case I could just incline bench. So yeah, so that's what's up. That's what's up, guys. And yeah, I'll see how the benching does. I notice I just keep PRing on my tricep stuff. We'll see if we get some bench PRs out of it coming up. But strange, we got likes and comments, likes and views, but no comments yet. So it's just been me talking. I guess I can talk about the fact that I got coaching slots open. That's the important thing. If we're not going to have events to talk about, then coaching becomes everything. Yeah. Right. Since people don't want to converse, they don't want to talk about conversations yet. Yeah, can do consultations. I think I have one maybe Wednesday. That's kind of he's always in and out and decide when he wants to do them. I think I've done like 4 or 5 of them with, but he's kind of hit or miss on his consultations. But as far as coaching goes, yeah, got plenty of slots open. Sagnick says, "Sup, bro? What's going on, Sagnick?" It's kind of early. It's early Monday morning here, so we're only going to get people in certain places. West Coast, probably not at all. Might get a few East Coast guys, but most going to be guys in Europe and stuff. They come through. Yeah, I'm waking up, man. I've not been awake long at all. This isn't a case I've been up an hour into the coffee chat. I shaved my head, brushed my teeth, and this is my first cup of coffee. It's evening here in India. I would think India is big enough. You guys also have more than one time zone. I could be wrong. Texas has more than one. What I love is that people ask this stuff about Texas, and then I'm like, there's videos on the tube made by people in Europe looking at, or like comparing, watching videos about the size and lifestyles here in Texas, and then they're shocked. Like they're just shocked seeing these Brits and Europeans looking at the data on Texas, some of the videos they made. They're like, I had no idea it was that massive. It's like, yeah, and it's one state. So it's like, like what time is it in Texas? And I'm like, that's kind of a silly question. You might want to narrow that down to one time zone. So what's the weather like? I'm like, well, it's snowing over here, and there are people having heat strokes over here on the same day. 3 people died of heat exhaustion, old people down here, and there's 3 inches of snow on the ground over here. Or like, what does it look like? I'm like, well, it kind of depends. Are you in the desert or are you in the forest? Well, nothing but forest over here, nothing but plains and rolling hills and farmland over here, and then this is desert. Pick one. Only thing we don't have is mountains. So, right? We have a massive desert, and then we also have a coastline that's 1,000 kilometers. So, I'm going to pick where you want to go. So that would almost be like me going, hey, what's it like in India? You'd like, it's India. You got to be a little more specific. I'm already looking forward to training today. Looking forward to that workout. Callum says, morning, coach. Good morning, Callum. How you doing? So I'm probably going to go refill my coffee. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. I'm on my way to fix some equipment at Wendy's. Okay. You need to fix that ice cream machine at McDonald's. That thing's always broken. each state in India has its own language and culture. So basically, each state is like a small country. All right, pretty much like the U.S. then. Just with a place like Texas. Texas really is like its own country. It's like its own India. Right? Rise and shine with Coach. There we go, Peppermint. Appreciate it. Yeah. Got a few pieces of other business to sort today. Oh, man. How you doing this morning, Peppermint? I am just not awake yet. I slept in a little later this morning. We are so not alert. Trying to get there. Wendy's Newcastle ain't selling any burgers right now. Why is that? Probably the prices. It's this economy. Right? I feel like it's been slowly improving, but not by much yet. I mean, we all know why. You can't lock the whole world down and then have government bail a bunch of people out and not to destroy your economy. That's not how it works. You can't just shut the world down for a month. Stupidity. I missed the +5 had a weapon spoon. There's not going to be a return to that. I'm good. Coming up to lunch soon. Oh, the grill is broken. Well, fair enough. Hence why you're on the way. Incline bench been improving for me. Good stuff. India is almost 5 times bigger than Texas. Wow, that's crazy. Are we sure about that, Alan? That's why Callum is on his way. He's on the way. We will show you the way. All right, let's find out. India is significantly larger. Yeah, it is. Wow. All right. Just in terms of square kilometers, yeah. It doesn't always look like it on the map, but it's because if you were just looking double overlaid on the map, it just looks double the size, but it makes sense because it's twice as long. Yeah, fair enough. We're not used to that. All right. We're not used to places being bigger than us. We're just like, what? It's not possible. There's a country bigger than us. There's probably only like 3 though. India, Russia, China. Those have to be like the only ones. Besides, well, Canada, US, obviously. One single country. Right? Texans be like that. They're like, there's only a few countries bigger than us. We're just a state, though. We don't see it that way. We don't see it that way. And the other expression is, the United States means Texas is in its 49 bitches. Right? We be like that here. It's different. People really are like that here. It's quite comical. Good morning, Coach Howard. Just looking forward to good mornings coming back. Man, not with the amount of deadlifting I'm doing, Chad. I can't do all the deadlifting I'm doing and do a bunch of good mornings. I feel like it would be a bit much. Jason, how do you deal with hunger while cutting? Yeah, dude, if I had that answer for you, I'd probably get ripped pretty easy, wouldn't I? You cry. That's what you do. I'm probably not the best person to ask about overcoming hunger. That's like asking somebody how to keep their hair when on steroids and thinking I'm the person to ask. I don't. There's a reason I stop cutting at certain points and say, let's chill for a bit. Let me get my appetite under control. So, plus work on performance too. But yeah, appetite's hard. It's tough for me. Like that's for me the hardest part. So I'm assuming you've been really, really fat in the past then. Like that's a problem for all of us who've been at a really high body weight. You have that appetite dysregulation pretty much the rest of your life. Right. But I'm finding right now what's helping combining intermittent fasting with a little protein, overfeeding. I've started my morning at like 12:15 in the afternoon. I ate breakfast. I started with an 80-gram protein shake. Right, just to blunt the appetite a bit. And then the first meal was chicken, brown rice, broccoli, and some avocados. So, yeah, GLPs, they probably would make it easy. Oh, I can see that. I mean, that's why people take them. So I'm assuming lifters and stuff is probably just such an easy cut. Yeah, what I probably need to do too, if I want to get leaner again, is even take the avocados out. Like I can get my fat from fish oil if I have to. So dietary fat makes it hard for me. It's just so easy to overeat when you're eating fat or too refined to carbohydrates. Keep in mind that my energy turnover is crazy high. Like if I sat at 3,000 calories and never went over that, I'd end up being shredded pretty quick. Like that's near starvation calories for me. I didn't go under 3,000 to drop the last 16 pounds on that cut. I never went under 3,000. Just I get uncomfortable with less than 3,500. Like I'm doing probably ballpark 3,500 in my 6-hour feed window in the afternoon right now, 5 hours or so. And it's all whole foods. Yeah, we see. Yeah. I mean, I put the pictures up of my food. You'll see what I eat. That's why I get people who are just like, people will say things like, oh, you must be, I always get haters, you must be eating junk food on the side. I'm like, do you not see my food? Like, it's not like I'm only posting 2,500 calories of food up every day. Like, you guys have seen up to 4,000 calories of my food in a day. Like, run some numbers on what you're seeing on those plates. Like, some of them, they don't realize. I'm like, you do know that's 2,500 calories of brown rice, right? On some of those days. That's just the brown rice. A lot of competitive eaters are in shape. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, do I respect competitive eating? I don't know, I suppose. I'm not sure that. I guess my thing with competitive eating, I guess I could recognize it as a competition, but in a world full of obesity, I don't know if it's a respectable sport. Would you only recommend a 10% or less fats for a phase, or is it sustainable? I mean, it can be if you're getting a little bit of healthy fats, and you're going to have to add some EPA and DHA to pull that off, though. To be healthy in that range, you're going to have to add that in the form of either salmon or extra strength fish oil or something. It's just very difficult to sustain that in terms of health benefits. That's the hardest part. Right? Keeping inflammation and stuff under control. That's why I'm always reluctant to pull out stuff like the avocados. I feel like I need that as a minimum just for overall health, right? Always reluctant to pull that out. But I mean, even like we've seen some of these guys do with their sugar diets and stuff, dietary fat drops to nearly zero. It does make getting lean a lot easier, right? Both in terms of no way to restore it during your meals, any fat you've lost. Also, better appetite control, just because you have less calorie density. Like fats are your calorie density. And people say the stupidest things, don't they? Well, they fill you up. Like, no, they don't. Like, keto people say the stupidest stuff. They really do. And they act like some of us haven't done keto. Oh, yeah, you get so full on a ribeye steak. I'm like, dude, you could overeat ribeye. You could intermittent fast and have a 4 hour feed window and reach a calorie surplus on ribeye with no problems in ketosis. So they really say some dumb stuff. Are you telling me you can't eat 4,000 calories of ribeye in one afternoon? I don't believe you. You can't afford it, you mean? So you don't have the money? I would understand that. Are Lay's potato chips a good source of healthy fats? Let's keep the trolling to a minimum. Hey, bro, we don't need to troll in here. Dropkick. You know there is no reason for you to eat junk like that. The only reason to eat something like that is because you want to be fat and diabetic. Right? That's the only health benefits of healthy. Like, dude, it's potato chips. You got to be kidding me. Like, that is diabetes and cancer in a bag. Like, let's not use the word healthy. Right? Like, that's the stuff we got to ban from schools right there. If we want to solve our health problems, let's not promote that. I will never be able to handle that British nomenclature. Like, I don't care how long I even stayed in the UK. I just can't deal with the whole chip crisp. It's just, I grew up with words being used different. I just can't. It's one of those I will never be able to see it correctly when you say it. Because we don't have any food called a crisp in the US at all. So it's not related to a food. Yeah. So you guys basically call what we call chips, you call them crisps. And it's just like, that's not even easy. How do you, it's not even an easy word to say, crisps. Like, you have to add extra enunciation. Right? You know, whereas we call chips, we call them French fries. And we don't care if they came from France. Mm. I don't know. It's just funny. I had an older Brit in-law when I lived there who was like, "Well, you have to try our crisp over by the beach, and it'll be better than any of the fries you've had in America." And it was just completely average. Like, the seaside one. Well, I'm not saying it wasn't good, but it's like I didn't think it was particularly special. Keeping in mind me being from Texas, I'm like, did you not add any spices to it? It's just potatoes and oil with a little salt, you know? Well, no, I mean, I've had the chips from fish and chip shops, but I mean, I would place them as average. And yeah, a little vinegar, true. So, I mean, I would put them as average for a French fry. I mean, a little better than fast food places, but like the best, no, you don't spice them up or anything. I saw that too. I watched one that came through of British people trying like Texas barbecue, and they were shocked. Like one of the top barbecue places here, like Gordon Ramsay showed up with his crew, and they gave it like 10 stars. Like they were just like, "Oh my god!" Like so, Gordon Ramsay and his other cooks, they showed up and did one. They reviewed one, and they were just like, "This is some of the best food we've ever had." And they kind of just they raved about it, you know. Um, so even if you go get chips at like a barbecue place done here, they're gonna have been a little pop to them. Hi Jason, hi from Denmark. How you doing, Monty? British meat pies are good, bro. I'm sorry, man. I like guys. You're talking about UK meat. Anything with meat from the UK to a Texan who has lived in the UK. Like this is not going to go well. Keep in mind, every time a Brit, including Gordon Ramsay, comes to Texas and tries our meats and barbecues, they're like, "This is the most delicious thing I've ever had in my life." Like we don't have anything like this in our country at all, comparable. Um, that's what these people are saying. Put that into context when you tell the Texan about your meat pies. Like, and they're 4 out of 10, 3 out of 10. Like I don't think of anything involving meat from the UK as being average. And it's no offense. Like you guys make some stuff great, like cheese and whatever. Like your cheeses are great. Like some of the best cheeses I've had. But anything related to beef or meat, no, you guys are at the bottom. Like we're bottom tier at this point, and I'm not trying to be mean. I'm saying it as someone who comes from a culture that specializes in this. It's below average. It's below average in general. Like your good steakhouses there are 4 out of 10, and it's because you don't have access to quality meat. Right, and they don't know how to cook it. Right, but it's all they know. So that's was the thing. So it's all relative. So example, like they went to the place they go to here. So they saw the cooking, like the barbecue pits, right? So they're all hand welded separate grills. And so they went to see, who's cooking it. And it's a 70-year-old woman slow cooking all the barbecue with hickory. So they're using, in that case, they were using hickory as the barbecuing fuel. And then it's slow cooked for like 12 hours in a smoker with hickory. Again with a high grade beef. So It matters. Like, we take that stuff serious. I mean, so even my simple meal prep, is just for me, just normal chicken. To me, is not a big deal. This is very, very simple. Like, this is just what my regular everyday chicken looks like. Right? It's just the batch I cooked this weekend. And to me, that's a very straightforward. If you cook meat correctly, it's going to have that whole crispy edge. You know, right? You're going to have a bark on it like that. But that's just cooked in the oven. So that's just in my gas oven for like an hour and a half. So I just have that on a roasting tray. All right. So it's just normal chicken breast. I've seasoned it with garlic, paprika, a little Lowry's, and it's just baked in the oven for 90 minutes on my roasting trays. Yeah, Tyrone, I've traveled around and I've been to other places, and it's true. And it's not even like bragging. It's just like we're known for that. And I come from a family of competitive cookers, like barbecuers. And so for me, that's just the simplest meat, super, super simple that I just did. That is like zero work. That takes me 5 minutes to prepare it, throw it in the oven, and just cook it. You just got to know your cook times. You just got to know how to get it right. So to me, that's average. And then, like, if I were to have someone, a lot of people try that, they'd be like, "Wow, your cooking is great." And I'm like, "That's just average. That is my low effort, just trying to bulk cook." Um, I can fit two 20-minute sessions at a workout gym throughout the day during breaks. Is it possible to make meaningful progress with these smaller bit-sized sessions? Yeah, that's totally possible, Michael. Totally doable. I don't see why not. And nobody's commented on the Facebook. Some of you regulars who are in my Facebook hadn't commented there, but that's okay. At least you're in here. Yeah. But no, I mean, I am known for cooking. That's why I laughed when someone asked in the stream the other day, "Would you consider a bodybuilding meal prep?" And I'm like, any of my real life friends, if they heard you ask me that, they would start laughing. They'd be like, if Jason was sitting on $10 million, he still wouldn't hire someone to cook for him. Like, y'all have me twisted. Like, why am I not going to trust some subpar cook to cook my food? You got to be kidding me. I'm the person who gets asked to cook. So I show up to social events. They make me take over the barbecue pit. Like, Jason's here. Jason, come over, take over. Did I season this right? I'd be like, no, you did. It's like hammered dog shit. Let's fix this. What are you doing? What did you put on this? My God. Gordon Ramsay on him. Do bodybuilders generally get good? I would think so. Like, I was really serious about cooking before that. I don't cook the same fattening stuff. Yeah. Like, I used to add wines to my pasta sauce. Like, I used to cook with even wine and stuff. When I would make spaghetti, like, you got to add sausage to it. And so I'm a good cook. I get fat easy if I cook that way. So for example, like if I would make spaghetti, there wouldn't just be ground beef. I would add sausage to it, like Czech sausage, like some Chapel Hill or something, one of those Czech brands. You add wine to the sauce. You can throw a little cheese in there, right? A little bit of mozzarella, probably some peppers, right? Into all your stuff. And then you would end up adding butter and everything to the noodles. So you get them perfect and do it al dente. You know, like, so that was a normal, everyday type food for me to cook when I was fat, right? It's just knowing the temperatures and how to get the cook time, Charlie. Coach, serious question. Do we need red meat in our diet to make gains, or okay to just add some eggs or dairy? Yeah, that's fine. No, you don't have to have red meat. I mean, it's not that magical or special. How do you make your food look so appetizing? You just have to know how to cook. That's low. The stuff I'm putting up there, because I'm not trying to eat like I want to keep my appetite under control. I actually minimize it. I'm not pushing it that hard. Like I could really get into garnishing a lot more with stuff, but I mean, my meat's got to be right. I need to have that crispy bark when I cook the meat. That you just have to, even if it's just going to go in an Instapot. But I've not been doing it that way. I've been slicing it separately. Yeah, I mean, it depends on the other iron in your diet, Tyrone. I heard red meat is more iron, but guessing it isn't a problem. It's just eggs and dairy. Yeah, it should be fine. Just eggs and dairy. Fine, dude. Imagine coach. The same thing with eggs. Eggs are all about time and knowing when to flip. Like I'm pretty good at over easy eggs. So, and if you mess it up, hey, you turn it into an omelet. But you want the yolk runny still, right? So you always want the yolk to still be runny when you do your eggs. What's your signature dish? Probably would have been pastas or fajitas, but what I'm known for with friends, probably brisket or whole chickens. Like if you were to ask the long-term bros, who are like, dude, throw Jason a couple of whole chickens and just let him have at it. Right? Do you give me the right seasonings, 2 whole chickens in a Dutch oven, and we're good. Honestly, paprika is my secret. There's no meat that isn't improved by paprika, in my opinion. Yeah, over easy is the best eggs. Coach the girl I held hands with and stuff ghosted me. I'm at a loss. Well, it happens, man. There's more fish in the sea, bro. Did your brother get some stinky on the same down? Yeah. I don't even know what you just said. I know you're from Indonesia. I forgot. Did you close? Did you seal the deal? It's okay, man. It's a learning experience. You got your first ghosting and breakup. You got experience and practice for the next one. Yeah, let her go. If she ghosts you, dude, just move on. Move on, man. Don't sweat it too much. She just wasn't the right girl for you. We need to cook out with Coach. So the key to brown rice. So dudes want to know how to make your brown rice. They're like, I don't like brown rice. Brown rice doesn't taste delicious. I'm like, because you don't know how to cook. Soy sauce and raw honey. That's your key to brown rice. If you're trying to make it taste good. This is not difficult. People have to learn how to cook. This is not that hard. Like, I don't see how grown men made it through life and they don't know how to cook. I just went on dates with her and good times, and she hearted every comment I did, then proceeded to ghost me. Well, I don't know, man. Limitless. Because I can't see your chat logs, and that's kind of personal. You don't want to be sharing that with somebody. I don't know what you did. I know it's a life skill. Being able to cook, guys. All right. Being able to cook is critical. Yeah, it's a life skill, man. Coach, when running kanji, what percentage do you like to run for back down sets on intermediates, and do you adjust reps? Um, I've gotten to where I don't even prescribe percentages. I just prescribe weight for back down sets. And I only do back down on benching. Like, I don't do back down for conjugate guys. I don't do back down on squats or deadlifts. Um, Benching, I like to get a weight that gets them in that 8 to 12 or 8 to 10 usually. If they're going to do back down benching at all. Coach when running, yeah. So I guess some people choose to eat out or just order food. That's why they don't learn to cook. And that gets expensive. Yeah, I learned to cook pretty phenomenal on keeping it within reason. Like, so for me right now, my grocery budget, I allow myself like $400 a month for groceries. My favorite dish to eat, I haven't had in years, would be pizza. I know, right? Everyone's like, you're like this phenomenal cook, and you're like, dude, I love me some pizza. Good supreme pizza or stuffed crust pepperoni, but I don't eat that. No, that's my favorite thing. It has been my whole life. Do chin ups work the biceps as hard as barbell curls? Hypothetically, yes. We could make an argument, though it may not be enough total for everybody. What if you make one of those? How are you going to make a healthy pizza, though, dude? You're going to end up with flour. I mean, how are you making the dough, though? And then you end up with cheese, which is a concentrated saturated fat on top of a refined carb. It's very difficult to make pizza truly healthy. Like, it's still going to be kind of a cheat no matter what. Now that I'm aware of fiber consumption, it baffles me how a huge amount of people are way below RDI. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some people make dough with minced chicken, right? A back coaster, I got hit with a Newsom since I live in Cali. Sorry to hear that, man. But you know what? At least I got paid for it. So I appreciate the sacrifice. Your budget's like $150 a month. Oh man. Mhm. I mean, I'll show you my last grocery receipt. Hold on, let me grab it. I still got it laying there. I need to do another big one though. So I mean, this is like, I don't know if you guys can read it. I think my last bill, direct by that, whatever. Does it show the total? Yeah, right there. All right, so 170, 173. No, it was 173 for just that trip. I mean, right now I eat about 400 a month total. 350 to 400 is what my food bill is per month. Of course, haters are going to be like, "Where's the EBT on there?" There's not. I think it's weird that anyone thinks I qualify for that. It's very strange. Like I don't qualify for any benefits. Let me be clear. I would take them in a heartbeat. I'm all about money, free money. Like if the government wanted to give me that, I wouldn't even hesitate. Rob them blind. But I don't. I can't get anything. Like, that's why I think it's hilarious that people throw that at me. I'm like, dude, you're telling me I can get this? How do I get it? I'd take it in a heartbeat. I wouldn't even hesitate. The IRS bends me over with no lube on a regular basis. I'll get every penny back. Please tell me how. Please. I want to get all of it back. You know. Coach, I would argue you should get something given your. I don't get anything. I don't get a penny. Nope. I have not gotten a penny in over a decade for my medical. Like nothing. I would take it. Like, let me be clear. That's why I think it's so strange that it gets thrown at me, right? Like, I don't consider it an insult, dude. I would take all of it. Like, straight up, dude. If they gave me 500 a month in food stamps, I wouldn't even hesitate. Doesn't matter what I make. If I was a millionaire, I'd still take it. Why wouldn't I? If I had $1 million in the bank, I'd still take it. Why wouldn't I? Like, it doesn't even make sense. You know, if they just want to give me money. Hell yeah. I'm all about it. I mean, they tax me enough already. You get back everything. Taxation is illegal. Like it shouldn't even be allowed. It is a violation of your constitutional rights for them to tax you as a citizen. So you should get back anything you can. I just can't, unfortunately. So let me be clear. Morally, I wouldn't hesitate. Wish I had $1 million in the bank. Yeah. Like that's almost my response. People complain about, people getting welfare and stuff. I'm like, well, then abolish the IRS. Your voters. Like if you really were that concerned with it, you would just get rid of it and be like, okay, I don't want my tax dollars going. Well, get rid of the IRS. You're the citizens, like you're putting up with it. Right? Let me vote on it and be gone tomorrow. Like I go so far as to say that right now, if the IRS was just abolished, 80% of my concerns in life would be gone. Like 80% of my problems would disappear if I didn't pay taxes. Like that's 80% of my stress. So, yeah. Like they're the biggest thorn in my side. I can't, dude, I can't write any more stuff off. I had to do the standard deduction. Like when I ran the math on the last year, my standard deduction was higher than everything I could come up with to write off. Not by much, but it was like about $2,000 difference. So the standard deduction got me more than stuff I could write off. The standard deduction is like 14,000 right now. I couldn't come up with 15 grand of write-offs. What do you do? Like, the solution is just get rid of the IRS, just abolish them. It's an unconstitutional agency anyways. American citizens are not supposed to be paying income tax that we didn't agree to. Like we literally overthrew the UK government over a 3% tax. Like, you know that, right? We had a revolution over that. We literally fought a revolution over 3%. A 3% import tax. Think about that. Let me state that again. The entire American Revolution was over a 3% tax. That is our history. Either Brits, it was a temporary measure in 1979 to fund wars against Napoleon, right? Do I think? I mean, the way things are going, but I mean, it would be over real fast. So think about that for a minute. Drop kick. Think about how that would go real fast. You're turning a second civil war. Businesses. Hey, Benjamin, I think 100% of it should be funded off business tax, tariffs, taxation of places that we do whatever to. But American citizens should not be paying taxes at all. Not directly, not to the government. They squander money and they spend too much money anyways. How much money they waste, right? Chad, there's a cap on home office. It's not unlimited. It's actually really small. Serious question, Chad. How much are you writing off per year on your home office? You personally? I'm curious how much you think a home office exemption is on your income tax. Because I've done it many, many times. I'm actually genuinely curious how much you think you can write off per year on a home office. It's going to be a lot less than you think. It's not going to be thousands and thousands of dollars. So, yeah. Hey, Benjamin, I just told you. And hospitals are private businesses. What are you talking about? Those are private companies. They have no trouble building as many of them as they want. Where I live in our metropolitan area is one of the largest medical centers in the entire world, and it's all private. There's like one public hospital downtown. There's one out of that entire massive complex. No, you tax businesses, which we already do. So it's kind of like people say, well, you're talking about taxing the 1%, they're citizens. Could you tax their businesses? Sure. But you didn't need to tax their personal income? No, they're citizens. And most of their stuff is tied up in their businesses anyway. That's why people are like, how come this guy, he pays almost nothing? Because he doesn't pay himself that much. His businesses get taxed. And that's what people forget. So, let's say you have someone who owns a business that makes $1 billion a year, and he pays himself, since his business owns everything, let's say he pays himself $50,000 a year salary. If you only tax him on the 50, that's his income. People say, well, that's not fair. He's not paying, but his business is paying taxes. So his $1 billion profit business is paying taxes. See how that works? it's already paying taxes. So why are you worried that he's only being hit for his personal salary? Just because he owns the business doesn't mean his income tax should be higher. The business itself is being taxed. This is common sense. And that's the problem we run into even with property taxes. When I run for governor, no, I have so much hate on the internet, it would all be used. I could never run for political office because of so much hate. Like I would have to go through and pay someone to clear out and sue all the people who make hate videos. Like if I made enough money, I could do that, have them all shut down, all of the websites shut down and sued. Now, I inherit $1 million or something, I probably will do that actually. And in that way I could do something like that. But otherwise, because of all the stuff online, there's no way I can run for any public office. Now that scenario I could, because that could be done. Like if I was willing to drop $100,000, $200,000 then on it, I could have all that cleaned up. All those people sued, own everything that they own when it's all done. But in the meantime, no, it's not an option. Like I couldn't just do it tomorrow. But where were we with that? Yeah. I mean, technically that's all civil. Like it's all technically slander. Like it would absolutely count as slander. But that costs a lot of money. Like you got to have disposable income. Yeah, it's defamation, straight up. And with the funding, yeah, Google would take all of it down. Like with the right paperwork filed, all that stuff would be removed. I wouldn't say I'm a diehard capitalist, but I mean, what's your alternative? Look at the failings of communism. I'm not saying we don't need any socialism at all. I'm not saying some government benefits don't need to exist at all. But generally speaking, yeah. And I'm not even a fool. No, I think there should be restrictions on what companies are allowed to do, within reason. So would I say I'm a pure capitalist? No, not at all. But I don't think people understand how the world works when they say things like, when they talk about taxing wealthy people. And I can tell they don't own a business. Well, to have the chip in some way, but we can't have a society where the majority just leech off the government, right? But that doesn't happen in communism either. Like, so Alan, that's the interesting thing when people have these discussions. They'll look at these communist countries and go, but they did this, they have whatever. Like, do you not understand how that works? That doesn't exist in those countries. There's nobody leeching off the government once you go to those full systems. If I had the membership earlier, here's a few bucks. Oh, appreciate it. Thank you so much, Rufio. So I want people to think this through, and they're like, when they want these sort of systems, like when people on the far left want these sort of systems, they don't understand those systems benefit the working class. So any sort of real socialist movement, when now the government's in complete control, the workers run stuff. So what do you think they do to the non-workers? They just execute them. So the same people who are like, well, I don't want to work full time. It's like, those were workers' movements. Well, I don't want to be in the factory. I don't want to be in the fields. Well, then they'll be in a ditch. So in any sort of true system like that, when they've gone into that level of power, they just execute the non-workers. They just kill them. Because they have no value to the whole. person's too lazy to work, they just get rid of them. Unless they're elderly or whatever, and that's fine. They'll let the elderly person be okay. But someone who's 25, and I think they forget that in these conversations. So you get that on the far left, like, oh, well, this system, since I'm just a member of the party, I'll just be allowed to paint and do my art and smoke weed. And it's like, no, you're going to be in a ditch. That's what's going to happen. So it's literally the people that the far left hates are the people who would be valued, even in a communist system. The right wingers they hate are the people who would be valued. The guy out plowing the field, the guy working in the factory, that's the backbone. That's who they want. There's no welfare leeches in those systems. They execute them. They get rid of them. They're disposable. And they forget that part. It's a little minor detail. Gets lost on them. It's a small detail. So yeah, these are complicated topics. But will I also, as someone who thinks we need capitalism and a free markets, there needs to be restrictions there too? No, I don't think a pure capitalism works either. All right? That doesn't work either. Just cut out the intellectuals, right? Well, they want full control at that point. Yeah, there has to be restrictions in place of what can be done to people by corporations. Yeah, we just chose to poison everybody. But don't they do that anyways? Look at our food. I get pissed because so many people, they argue about big pharma being the problem. Like I literally put up a thing about supplements and someone said, I trust the supplement industry more than big pharma. And it's like, do you know how stupid that sounds? It's not like it's a different morality of people running them. One is restricted and the other is not. Really, you're going to trust the one that has less restrictions on what it can give you and feed you? It has less safety measures and testing in place because the government gives it more freedom. It's still run by psychopaths who would poison you for $1 million. So you're going to trust that one more than the one that at least has restrictions in place? Hey, you have to safety test this. Hey, this is dangerous. We're going to pull it. You're not allowed to give it to people. That's the one you're going to trust, at least the one that the government actually digs into and puts restrictions on. If you say that, you're a fucking idiot. You're an absolute moron if you hold that position. So, yeah, I do optimal nutrition, actually. I just got a new tub of, hasn't opened yet yesterday. I need to put a picture up. I need to take a picture. By the way, guys, if y'all want to buy me some optimal nutrition, there's my Amazon wish list. I have like 5 flavors in there. Why do I like optimal nutrition? Because of Consumer Reports, independent testing. Man, what is that on my shirt? What the heck is that? They've consistently done well with independent testing for quality. So that's why I go with them. They taste good. As far as budget proteins, they consistently come back with the least contaminants. No, as someone who gets, Benjamin, is someone who owes back taxes now I'm having to pay off. The idea of giving other people basic universal income when I run a business and I work 80 hours a week and I'm struggling to pay my taxes, you can eat a fucking dick. Like, I literally am working 80 hours a week to pay my taxes off right now. But you're pimping for more clients to pay my taxes. And you want free money. You know what? Fuck you. That's my response. So that's how I feel about basic universal income. Really? Because it's going to come off of my extra overtime. Exactly. The tax system isn't great. That's why I said my life would dramatically improve if the IRS was abolished. Like, my actual life would improve immediately, tomorrow, if the IRS was just gone. They're my biggest stressor in life. Didn't Elon Musk propose that? Which would propose what? I think taxation of self-employed entrepreneurs it is. Like, y'all are kidding me, right? Hey, Rufio, how's it different than Texas? We don't pay state taxes here. I don't pay anything to the state. Internal Revenue Service. That's what it stands for. Jason, thoughts on legal and longevity? Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. You asked me about Leo and longevity. You mean the Leo and longevity I had to ban in my comments years ago for acting like a goofball? And then who made hate videos about me? And then who died? Who claimed that he used to squat 405 for 20 reps? It looked like he never lifted and claimed he quit lifting weights to live longer. And then he died young. That Leo and longevity. Never heard of her. All right. Ironically enough, the government is the biggest leech. Pretty much. Thoughts on The Rock? People are saying he is sick. Well, what are you asking me? I already covered his trimming down and coming off the gear. Well, I mean, we already know he had heart issues. That's why he came off most of the steroids, probably just on TRT, lost 60 pounds of muscle. Let's be realistic. It was a smart move. He should have done it 5 years sooner. All right. It's not like he needed more movie roles. He's worth $800 million. He's good. And he'll still get movie roles just being The Rock. He should have downsized a long time ago. He was running a lot of drugs a long time. Way above the safe limit. Wait, what? You not only him, but you had history of him? Please tell me that. I just told you this story. Would you want me to give his description in a video of when I banned him? He said, yeah, I was over the top with the things I was saying to Jason, like praising him. He goes, but apparently Blaha is not anywhere near as autistic as I thought he was, and he saw right through it and banned me. End quote. He said that in a video. He used to come into my comments and write like 4-sentence long praises to me. about how amazing I was, and I was the greatest coach in all of history and had the most amazing physique, and he would just go on and on and on and on. And it was very obviously ridiculous trolling. Like it would be like a paragraph long of just praise, and he'd do it every day. It was really weird. I was just like, dude, you're weird. Get out of here. Like it was creepy. Hey, Jason, my strict overhead press is 175, but I'm stuck there. Any recommendations? Patience. Keep building your delts and triceps. Time. But without seeing your full program and your technique and everything going on, I can't help you. All right. You know, so Kenshiro, so why did you ask about Leo? Keep in mind, Leo in longevity didn't make it very long. Kind of ironic. I'm going to make a whole channel about longevity and call myself Leo in longevity and die in my 30s. I mean, keep in mind how much of a clown he was. The guy was literally telling people that lifting weights will reduce your longevity. Like, this should be enough. Like, that alone, he quit lifting because he thought lifting weights would reduce his lifespan, while claiming astronomical numbers, like insane. We know he was never anywhere near. Like, again, let's talk scam artist. Hopefully you are not a fan, Kenshiro. I just wanted to ask you about his advice. I didn't know he used to write those long phrases. Yeah. It didn't last long. I didn't put up with it more than about a week. But he was trolling me. Then he made some hate videos on me. So what do you think about his advice? He's an ass clown who lied about insane levels of strength when he used to lift, looked like a non-lifter, claimed he didn't lift weights to increase his lifespan. You know how stupid that latter part is. Think about that. All the evidence and research we have on strength training and health and all-cause mortality, to even utter such sheer stupidity, you can write off everything he has to say on the topic. Like, that's all we need to know. Like, we're done. Claiming that lifting weights will reduce your lifespan. And my question is, how well did his advice work out for him? I don't think dying in your 30s of non-violent causes is particularly amazing longevity, me personally. Atlas says, Thor said he will train to hit a 1,200 pound deadlift. You think it's possible? Are you talking a strongman deadlift or a real deadlift? He needs to hit 1,000 pounds first on a real deadlift. Now, if you mean strongman deadlift, sure. Where's he at now? I got to translate from pounds to kilos. So let me see, 505 kilos. And that's asking a lot. Yeah, he's still like got another 80 pounds to go. I mean, maybe. But keep in mind, a real deadlift, he's hit less than 1,000 in a powerlifting meet. Like, a deadlift with chalk and a belt, an actual deadlift. No suits, no figure eight straps. Ever been a stiff bar? Oh, man. That's a good question. Been a lot of 900s. I would need to check on the actual conventional on a stiff bar. Let's see, you're talking like a Texas power bar or something, not a deadlift bar. I would need to check. Quite a few years of trackers in the grave now, right? Yep. Well, it was just popular to hate on me after that whole original set of stuff got kicked out, Do squats cause growth in the erectors? Yes, they should. All right. They get hit with enough stabilization. Keep in mind, that's a whole different topic. We start talking physiology of the erectors. That gets a bit nuanced. They get enough stabilization while there should be some hypertrophy, yes. Right. And I'm not saying isometrics are the greatest, but keep in mind, it's not like this is a long range of motion joint anyways, But very, very heavy loads on it through very short ranges of motion is really what ends up building erectors, and it seems to work, but it's the nature of the joints there anyways. It just has such a limited range of motion. But yeah, absolutely causes it. Yeah, quite a few of my detractors are. I'm sure there'll be more in the future. Eventually, people will get over it. I think at this point, if I just keep doing my thing, keep building my business up, and I starve people of personal information completely, be fine. Like most people who hate me, if they can't get any info about my personal life, they get really bored and desperate. And I'm now in a position to where I can have a full blackout. Like there's no information to get anywhere. As you know, talk about getting a Mars bar. I'm not a fan of the Mars bar personally. I've been powerlifting for many years, and there have been many 800, 900 pound deadlifts. I'm not sure when we'll see 1,000-pound raw, no strap, stiff bar. Yeah, I don't think that that's what you said. You asked me, has there been one? I'm like, not that I'm aware of. Right? Because we're over to, again, that specific. I mean, the straps, anyways, because powerlifting doesn't allow straps. But on an actual stiff bar, because not all feds use a stiff bar, like a conventional, I don't know that there's been one. There's been some stuff in the nines. Definitely. I don't think there's been 1,000. Yeah. What's your max on a stiff bar? It's right there on the home tab. Hey, Atlas, go to the home page. It's right there. Literally the lift on a stiff bar. So I have a 635 pull on a Texas power bar right there on the home page to this channel. I did it 3 years ago, 4 years ago. At this point, almost 4 years. Probably was 4 years now. So. Did that in my mid 40s. George even did 809 for 9 reps. You do that on a stiff bar with no straps, though? I remember George being strong as hell. I'm not sure about that latter part, though. Is that no straps on a stiff bar? George Lehman. I interacted with George back in the day on forums, way back when he was Baby Slayer. Let's see. Benny Maxon's 979 is a stiff bar. I'm not sure. I'd have to check, Monty. We'd have to research that one. Right. It's a good question. Do I still talk? We haven't talked lately. I mean, I still have a messenger conversation there. I haven't touched base in quite a while. Actually, why are we talking about other fitness people? We've already said that we're not going to talk about other fitness people. Let's go back to that rule that I made earlier this week. I also used the touch and go deads. Yeah, we're getting off topic. I started doing touch and go deads like him, but I saw a video of you critiquing. Yeah, I'm not a fan of touch and go deads. Oh, wait, are you saying he did 9 touch and go? That means he did 1 rep. Touch and go reps don't count. They're not deadlifts. Like, you can't call them a deadlift. They don't carry over. They're not viable in a 1 rep max calculator. Like, you cannot count them as a deadlift at all. You just can't. Right? I think they only have their place for very elite lifters for rep work for doing certain things for hypertrophy. I think the average person has no business doing a touch and go deadlift. Like, honestly, it's a misallocation of training resources with injury risk. My plans for the day, I'm going to work out and I'm going to make videos, and the rest of my plans will be kept private. It's a full body day. Yes, I'm about to wind this down. I think this has run long enough in the Facebook. All right. Yeah, Coach's Plans, it's Monday. We train. All right, guys, and I'm out of here. Love you, and I'll catch you later today, probably.